After 288 and then 298 in the first two ODIs, all the talk around India versus Australia third ODI was, will Australia be able to cross the 300-run mark? Far from it, because 230 is what they could manage. In fact, 8 balls short of finishing their innings of 50 overs. 6 for 42 for Yuzvendra Chahal. He was the star for India with the ball. Bhuvi and Shami also picking up 2 wickets apiece. The only half century, handscomb for Australia. Joining me, Ajit Agarkar, Brad Hodge. You are watching ESPNcricinfo Matchday, brought to you by Maruti Suzuki. Brad, I usually try to bring this up right at the end of the show, but I'll do it right at the start. You picked 4 batsmen, you remember, in the Fab 4. It doesn't seem like a game for batsmen.
Doesn't look good, does it? No, my prospects of winning this don't look great. But having said that, though, yeah, Ajit needed to win a series. He struggled in the Fab 4 Test series, so maybe he's a one-day specialist.
All right, Ajit, well done to you. You picked Yuzvendra Chahal. He was making a comeback. What made you so confident that he'll do well?
I mean, generally, he's been one of the guys why India has been so successful with Kuldeep and Bumrah. At least their bowling's been successful because they pick wickets in the middle of the innings, which is so important. The way the rules are skewed in favor of the batsman in one-day cricket. Big ground as well, so not easy to clear the fence. Terrible 2 shots at the start in his first over. Nice little gifts, one from Sean Marsh and Khwaja. Just nothing, very soft. When both of them looked like they'd got the hang of the wicket. Maybe a little bit tacky to start with. The ball did stick into the pitch a little bit. But India basically, their 3 best bowlers have taken all the 10 wickets. Maybe Virat Kohli tactically not very good today. With getting Chahal bowled the 24th over of the innings. I understand there were 2 left-handers, but a good bowler is a good bowler. I mean, whether it's the ball's turning into the batsman or going away from him. So left it too late, and again, when they were 6 down, and after Maxwell got out, changed him and got Ravindra Jadeja for that over there. Yeah. So yeah, otherwise might have wrapped up the innings even sooner. But incredible performance. He's always been brave to bowl in difficult situations for India, whether it be in T20 cricket when it might be in the power plays or in one-day cricket or towards end of the innings.
Okay, we'll talk about Yuzvendra Chahal's performance, as Ajit is saying. Incredible performance there by Chahal. Also, Virat's captaincy, as Ajit was talking about. But before that, Brad, just talking about those 2 dismissals, I'm going to talk about Marsh and Khwaja, as Ajit mentions there. How would you describe those particular 2 shots? And coming from the 2 batsmen that looked in kind of form in the first 2 ODIs that we saw.
Well, it just goes to show that Australia has trouble with spin bowling, and we've had this history in the past where Chahal comes in for his first game and dominates an Australian batting lineup, and it's not surprising because, as Ajit said, this guy's a quality performer. And look, I think that if he had been squeezed into the side along with 2 other wrist spinners, then Australia would have been in trouble. But yeah, I mean, these 2 guys have played pretty well for the first 2 games, and sometimes other people need to step up as well. So we haven't had much from Finch or Carey, in the opening partnership, and a lot rests on that shoulders, and unfortunately they didn't deliver today.
I mean, it's actually been Australia's story of the summer, really. Their batting, I mean, apart from that 100 from Marsh, it's always been guys getting starts and not quite, finishing off the opposition, or at least putting your team in a position where you can then dictate. Maxwell looked good. So there are guys down the order. Hanscom played a really good inning. So there are guys down the order. If you're 4 down for 100 plus, it's always going to be difficult to get a score which is then going to be defendable.
Okay, just a word on that, Brad, because Ajit was talking about the tacky sort of bounce. Just to give the benefit of doubt there to Khwaja, you thought the ball wasn't coming onto the bat, leading edge gets out.
Yeah, it can happen, and that might have been an indication of the little bit of rain that the MCG had just before the start of play, which may have just made the Hessian a little bit tacky and the ball not quite coming on early. And you could see by the economy rate of the bowlers that scoring was difficult early, but you got to work your way through that. You've got to assess conditions, and these guys are top professionals, and the series is on the line, and you've got to value your wicket and push it deep like they have in the last 2 games, and unfortunately they just couldn't do it.
Okay, interesting he talks about that. Maybe now we get the answer of why Virat decided then to bowl first. One was, of course, because of the rain, he would know what target to chase, but also because it was covered, and which is the result that we're seeing the ball. Would it be better now batting second?
It looked that way. I mean, towards the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't, okay, maybe it wasn't a 330 pitch, but it wasn't a 230 either. So, like Brad said, you know, if you are professional, you've been playing at this level for so long, you quickly assess what a good score is, and then maybe approach it that way and try and get there. So it gives your bowlers a chance. It's still a good pitch to bat on. Okay, there's a little bit of turn. It did stick into the pitch. We'll have to wait and see if it's the same second innings. I think till both teams have batted and bowled on it, you shouldn't pass a judgment. It wasn't a bowler's pitch by any stretch, really. I think Australia should have got a few more on that.
Okay, wasn't a bowler's pitch, but one thing that was definitely certain, has been throughout this series, is Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowling to Aaron Finch. It's happened for the third time. I think it's the first time it's happened to Aaron Finch that he's been out to the same bowler in the series. Ajit, is there a problem there? Especially with the incoming ball.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Hodge's views are, but you know, the way Finch has looked in recent times, it looked a bit like KL Rahul, where it seems like every bowler can get him out. Obviously, the confidence isn't there, nervousness. I mean, he nicked 2 or 3 times in that little innings. There wasn't a second slip kept for some reason at one point with, you know, him being so tentative. Forget the scoring rate or, you know, how slow he's going. That is bound to happen when you're trying to get into your innings. But generally, when he's batting, I'm sure most bowlers fancy a chance against him at this point, and it's got to do with lack of runs and confidence. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is India's biggest positive, in my opinion, in this series. I think having not played a lot over the last 2 or 3 months for various reasons, you know, maybe carrying a niggle, you can see over the course of these 3 games, he's just gotten better. More bowling. Hopefully, they don't decide to rest him because you know, he needs cricket under his belt. You could see him, and even though there was help in the pitch, maybe there was a little bit of movement in the air as well, which obviously assists him a lot more. You know, there's a little bit more zip behind his bowling. The consistency is back, which is a good sign for India.
I'm going to talk about Chahal's performance, matching your figures a little later in the program. Also going to talk about, as you're saying, the performance of Aaron Finch as well. But good word, because you talk about Bhuvneshwar Kumar. You think in hindsight, it's always a great vision. In hindsight, would he have been playing the test matches? We could have seen something different there.
No, I don't think Bhuvneshwar Kumar in these conditions would play ahead of. I think we've got Aaron Finch's numbers in the last 7 games. I mean, there is going to be a stark difference, obviously, for someone who's out of form. Hopefully they get him in form, because he can be dangerous if he is.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the average. First 7 matches since 2018. Look at that average, which would do any batsman proud, at 58, and then it falls down to less than 20, and that's a massive difference. I'll get Brad's view on this. Brad, I mean, he's trying everything. We saw today batting outside the crease, trying to, you know, ensure that the bowler changes his length, but nothing seems to be working for him.
No, he looks to be a man which has certainly had a tumultuous sort of summer. You know, I think that he's really been tortured by opening the batting when, you know, I don't think that he was ready to open the batting in Test match cricket, but he was forced to do so. And I think that's affected his mental state. You know, I mean, he's a very free player, Finchy. He's a great stroke maker and a great leader. But I think, unfortunately, then when you have an opportunity to play for your country in Test match cricket and things go completely wrong from ball 1, it can affect your mind and your state of play. So I think that's where Aaron is at the moment. Hopefully, you know, he can turn it around. He's such a dangerous player when he gets it right. So that's something we need to look at. And we've rested some quicks. I mean, maybe this is an opportunity for rest your captain as well to, you know, sit it out and just get your things right, get your head right, and come back fitter and stronger.
Okay, interesting you talk about that. Aaron Finch does know that what he's doing, because just before this match he was asked plenty of questions in the press conference about his form, and he said, listen guys, I know what I'm doing. I've got 13 international hundreds. I know how to get runs. I'm trying various things, looking at my video replays, but things don't seem to work at the moment for Finch. But he's got some time going ahead into that World Cup. Also the captain of the side, so plenty of responsibility on him. Talking about listening to someone before the match, this is the star of the day in Yuzvendra Chahal. He's answering ESPNcricinfo's 25 questions.
Cricket, life, and everything in between. 25 questions with Yuzvendra Chahal.
cricket or chess, which is easier to play?
Chess.
One leg spinner from the past you wish you could bowl like?
Shane Warne.
One batsman from history whose wicket you would have loved to get?
AB de Villiers.
One teammate who you would love to play a prank on?
Me, Rohit Sharma.
The cricketer you grew up idolizing?
I always like when I was starting Shane Warne only is my idol.
The one cricketing record you would like to have at the end of your career?
I think in Test match I want to take 10 wicket haul.
The one person you can call at any time of the day or night and they'll respond to you?
There's so many Kuldeep is there, Rohit Sharma bhaiya is there.
Why are leg spinners cooler than off spinners?
Because I think we have more variations.
One superpower that you would like to have?
I think if I can fly.
Which app do you use the most on your phone?
WhatsApp.
Any favorite India-Pakistan match?
सर मेरे तो काफ़ी 1996 में जो वर्ल्ड कप था.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Mine is Greece.
If there was a movie made about you, who would you like to play you in the movie?
Randeep Hooda.
If you could meet one sports person from another sport, who would it be?
For me, I'm very big fan of wrestling, so I want to meet John Cena.
One singer or band that you would like to watch live?
I'm not a very rock band type, but my friend is Mehram. He's from Bangalore only.
How would you like to unwind after a long day on the field?
Nothing, I just chill with sitting. I think now this PS4 or might be these days PUBG.
If there's one food that you'd like to have for the rest of your life, what's it?
Rajma rice.
First match that you watched live at a stadium?
First match is in England versus India in Faridabad.
What's your nickname in the team?
There's so many Yuzi. My wife call me Tilly.
One batting record that you'd like to have?
Mine is at least I can score 6 in my whole career.
One T20 league other than the IPL that you like watching?
Big Bash.
The most memorable moment of your career so far?
When I took 6 wickets against England.
One Indian cricketer who you think can beat you at chess?
No one.
Your favorite team to play against?
Now England.
If you were a hashtag, what would it be?
Genius.
Okay, he's doing a good job of answering those questions. Also does a good job of being the interviewer, as he's been doing on Chehel TV. It's the big star who gets a chance to interview him. Today he'd have to interview himself.
Yeah,
he's going to be
love the hashtag genius. Yeah, you need. I mean, he's obviously, I don't know him that well, but you need these characters in the dressing room, and he's obviously one of the lively ones. We saw his interview with Virat after the previous game. So, yeah, again, to get that opportunity and to grab it, make it difficult for his captain to leave him out now.
You don't know him really well, but there is one thing that the two of you share. That is the best bowling figures by an Indian bowler in Australia. 6 for 42, identical between Ajit Agarkar, Yuzvendra Chahal. Ajit is still on top because he did it before. Yuzvendra did it. It's exactly the same. You at one point thought he beat you. You thought it was 6 for 41.
Yeah, it was 6 for 41 when I sort of went to change the shirt to get in the studio, but I wish he had. Hopefully it lands up on the right side of the result. The game I got those, we couldn't quite finish the game off and win it. Hopefully that doesn't happen for India tonight.
Now, all right. I mean, also a spinner doing it that well. The MCG, we were taking a look at the record before we started this particular match, and it was basically the fast bowler that did
I think it was
much better.
Spinners average 44, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. So these are the best match figures for an Indian spinner in Australia. I mean, this is incredible. This is the best figure by an Indian spinner ever in Australia, beating that.
I think it'll be interesting to know if any spinners got a 6-4 in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has. So, no, incredible effort. And they came on to bowl a bit late, in my opinion. And when two batters were set, okay, not great shots from Marsh and and Khwaja, but
Yeah.
this is what leg spin can provide you. You know, even when they don't bowl at their best, they have the ability to pick up wickets.
Yeah.
And he's done it fairly regularly for Virat Kohli. Yeah, I've been saying since the first one day they should find. I know Hardik Pandya is not there, and maybe that's why he's out of the 11 to get the balance right. But they've got to get both wrist spinners playing for India. I think make a huge difference to that bowling unit.
Okay, since you asked that question about the two leg spinners playing for India, we're getting plenty of questions as well. This one is from YouTube, and this is Shubham Gill. Exactly the same question to Ajit Agarkar. Probably read your mind. How can India fit in both Chahal and Kuldeep in ODIs?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Hardik's back, so that makes life easy. I don't know how they can, because they need somebody to bat at number 7. That's why they need to get their 4, 5, 6 right. If 4, 5, 6 start playing consistently, then perhaps you can gamble with a 5 bowler, 5 bowling attack, whereas in you play maybe Bhuvneshwar Kumar at 7 and then your 2 wrist spinners plus your 2 seamers. At this point, without Hardik, he's struggling to, but at some stage, maybe over the next 5 one-days in New Zealand, I don't know whether the conditions will be right, but even if they're not, he should try and get those two back playing together, because they turn games in the middle of the innings, which is so important.
Brad, a word from you on the performance of Yuzvendra Chahal. He's not a big turner of the ball. It's not the googly that did the trick for him. What is it that made him really tough for the Australian batsmen to face him?
Oh, just his consistency as well, and he's got a great belief in his ability. So, I've seen him perform for a number of years in the IPL, and I'm not surprised that he does well in one-day domestic cricket or one-day cricket as well. So, yeah, it's a really good question. Can you fit those 2 spinners into that side? And if you could, it'd be such a formidable task for any batting side. So, I think it's a really good move to bring him into the side. I think it was a smart move by Team India and Captain Virat Kohli. So we've struggled. We've had our problems with leg spin in the past. So, it's not surprising he's done well, even though there was some average shots. He's a quality spinner. And, we're hoping that Adam Zampa can do something similar. So that's why the leg spinner is probably a more effective option than an off spinner.
All right, interesting you talk about Australia having problems against the leg spinner or the wrist spinner. In fact, that's the trend that we're seeing across the globe right now. Wrist spinners doing rather well in the shorter format. Okay, we'll take another question that's coming from one of the viewers that's watching us on Facebook, and this is Jiten, I beg your pardon. He wants to know, it was the nip and seam movement that Giant Richardson got in Sydney that had India at 4 for 3. There will be seam movement with the new ball too today. How do India ensure they do not lose early wickets this time around?
Well, let's see if there is seam movement. I think Richardson has been the pick of the bowlers. Ben does bowl well, but Richardson by far looks, almost ready to be part of that seam bowling unit. They'd be hoping. I think there's some rain around still, so they'd be hoping that there is a bit of movement. You don't want the ball to get too wet either. Stop swinging. We'll have to wait and see if. That's why I said till both teams don't bowl on it or bat on it, we won't know how much there is in the pitch. To me, the new ball will do a little bit, but I can't imagine it doing as much as it did in the first innings. We'll have to wait and see though.
Okay, we spoke about the average first inning score on the MCG. It was 249 for the team batting first. Australia, of course, well short of that mark, and these are the highest batting averages for India in successful chases. Minimum, of course, 1,000 runs. No surprise that man MS Dhoni is right on top. And then you've got Virat Kohli. At the moment, these are impressive averages, but you don't need these numbers to chase something that India has got today.
Not really. I think if they bat, keep their heads down, and if they get a decent start, 230 for most teams in one-day cricket shouldn't be hard to chase unless the wicket suddenly changes. And India, we've seen how good they are chasing. Australia would know at the back of their mind, if they can get 2 out of those top 3 out, they can still put India under pressure. If the wicket does a little bit, that is their best chance, but they need 2 wickets at least out of those 3, if not all 3.
Okay, before we go to the Fab 4 leaderboard, quick word, Brad. I'm getting lots of comments on YouTube and Facebook. This one is from JRE, and he's saying that Stanley, if he takes 7 wickets, Australia have a chance. Are you as optimistic as him?
He will probably need to take 7 wickets, I reckon. He probably needs to get 5 for 5 in the first 3 overs, and Australia have got a good chance.
Okay, thanks so much for that brief answer, Brad. Quickly, as a look at the leaderboard, this is the Fab 4 leaderboard. Just by the looks of the team, and as far as I can remember, no surprise, Ajit Agarkar leading with 215 points. Brad Hodge, I'm afraid he's far behind with 58. That's because he went with 4 batsmen. It is a bowler's game at the moment. I think it's Yuzvendra Chahal that's done the trick for Ajit Agarkar. The only way that he can make a comeback, I think Brad's got Shikhar in the team. If he gets half of those 230 runs, maybe may have a chance. Completely out of time. Ajit Agarkar, Brad Hodge, thanks so much for joining us. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Matchday, brought to you by Maruti Suzuki.